is Ad Emmen reporting for Primeur live from the e-IRG meeting in Malta. And we are here with Juan Miguel from Spain, who's representing Spain in the e-IRG. And well, actually we just closed the meeting, so welcome.
Thank you so much.
Okay, can you tell a little bit about yourself, what you do?
Yes, well, I'm a Spanish ministry representative to the EIRG, representing my country, the Spain. Here, very delighted. First of all, thank you very much for this interview, because it supposes an effort on how to aggregate, federate through the EIRG all the initiatives on of the pan-European infrastructure. That's essential. Are essential, which important is with a lot of importance. And in my case, I'm representing here all the interests in some way, all the community, the e-research infrastructure community from Spain. And as well as we could check today, there was a very interesting workshop on long-term research data sustainability. So we are very focused. I'm very focused on this. I'm the chair of this working group, ERG working group, with excellent results, in the sense that we are supporting, pushing just ERG to be the real, and it is, by the way, the real high-level expertise reflection group to assist to the creation, to the establishment of the European Open Science Cloud and the EuroHPC Initiative as well. So thank you.
And so you're chairing the long-term preservation working group within EIRG that's working on a document. Yeah. Can we? When can we expect it?
We expect to release the very last version during the next months. Okay. So it's a very complex, very tough document, because it implies just to make an assessment not only of what is existing, what is available, but as well the costs. And this is different depending on the member states and on international, pan-European and international institution you are considering. So that is maybe the section, the more most complicated section to study. And as soon as finished, we expect to release this before our Tallinn meeting in October.
Yeah, that's in October. Yeah. So looking forward to that. And perhaps we can talk later in Tallinn about that document then. So one of the things that there are a lot of things happening in Europe. I mean, not in infrastructures. We have the European Open Science Cloud, and recently there was this big announcement about EuroHPC. And actually, a lot of people are asking, well, what is this EuroHPC about? We know it's about 7 countries. Yeah. Spain is one of them. Yeah. It's about the HPC and it's about Europe. Basically, that's what people know. But can you tell a little bit about what's it really?
Initially, because this is open to the rest of member states and even associated countries, it is Spain joining in collaboration with France, Germany, Luxembourg, Italy, the Netherlands, and Portugal. So the seven countries, we're trying to do our best to create an ecosystem for the establishment of the exascale big network, exascale supercomputing big network in Europe, just to share not only funds, but also our commons, the commons in the establishment of this. The main goal of this is based on the declarations of institutional declarations for our President of the European Commission, Juncker, based on that we must be competitive in Europe in the international arena, respect, I will say some names, United States of North America, China, and other Japan stakeholders, in order to enhance and promote the European industry related to that. The public sector and as well the private one related to this construction. So the creation of this ecosystem implies a strong commitment. Although initially it is based on a memorandum of understanding duly signed during the last 23rd of March declaration in Rome, with attendance of the high-level authorities, policy level from these countries, I mentioned before. But behind of the strong support of all the countries is this how to engage the community in this competitive but a very exciting adventure of supercomputing, on how to pave the way to the creation of exascale in two steps, very clear steps. The first one is the creation of the 2 machines, the 2 pre-exascale machines, and they will be followed by the delivery of the release of the 2 exascale themselves machines. Yep. So And in the middle, there is a lot of things to consider here. We are talking about the microprocessor, the making of the microprocessor with European technology, the integration of these microprocessors in the European technology machines, associated machines, and how to establish the proper procurement mechanisms to release both machines, because don't get me wrong, maybe we can decide to buy these European-made machines, that's the good, should be the good news, or buy another one, guns came in from United States, China, Australia, wherever, you know. So because they may be more, they could be more factible, feasible in that sense. But in any case, we are very excited just to push, to mobilize all the European industry. Not close to the rest of the world, of course, but how to integrate all this industry component. And in that sense, there is a parallel initiative related to EuroHPC, that is the EPK, the IPC EI.
The important project of common European interest.
Yes.
Yeah, I studied on that.
On that, that's because this is a little bit just to clarify which is the relationship between these two big initiatives. In the case of the EPC, it's all it involves France, Italy, Spain, and Luxembourg at the moment. I insist that both initiatives are open to the rest of countries, not only the 7 member states for the EuroHPC and the 4 initial for the EPC. And the connection is related to the establishment of the commons of the industry. It is clear that there are a lot of standards, there are a lot of industrial initiatives in Europe. We are in a free market, in a globalized market, as I said before, but in some way we need to guarantee that we guarantee the existence of some commons from the industrial point of view, of the standards and how to develop or to establish a middleware between the EuroHPC high-level policy address initiative and the reality of the industry. And this is the main aim, goal of establishment of the EPC, how to engage the industry through these commons, mainly based on the development of some case studies, some pilots, for instance, personalized biomedicine, led by Spain, Innovation 4.0, led by Italy. France is going to lead smart manufacturing, and Luxembourg, smart, all related to remote sensing, smart space, etc., all associated. The good thing of this is, independently of the chairs or the coordinators of every thematic area, it is open to all the countries, not only the countries involved in the EuroHPC and the FA, but the rest. Also, we are talking of coordinators.
Yeah, of Europe and
European. And the good thing of this is how to, one of the things we are very eager, but personally, is how to push, to find the commons. Commons are important. You know very well from ERG. To us, it's important. It's our preferred paradigm, no? To find this common thread throughout all Europe, to put our umbrella, to engage our umbrella there, and aside or apart from our own member states' interests, because we must remind that the European Union is still based on the member states' interests, and we are trying to do our best to consolidate our very exciting project. We need to find this common ground, and now you can visualize how at high level this is the main aim, at policy level, funding level, administrative procedures of the EuroHPC, and down in one place it is the FA trying to do their best to find this middleware, to establish this middleware, this interoperability mechanisms between the industry, not obliging to say, no, this industry will be in the procurement, this will be procured to this company. No. But to find a way to define a common European standards, and above all, not only big companies, but also small and medium companies. This productive tissue. So, if Europe wants to be competitive in a 21st century economy, and this globalization aspect, arena, the knowledge economy, we must integrate, be so smart to integrate these small and medium companies and the biggest ones. with an industrial European development paradigm behind all these efforts at high level and an operational industrial high level. And of course, the main users, it is clear that they're going to be the decision makers, managers, policy makers, on the one hand. On the other hand, you have the researchers, but mainly the citizens in general terms, and how to be in the train, not to be in the last wagon of the train of the innovation related to supercomputing on exascale new technologies, and how to be engaged and preparing, paving the way to the coming next quantum revolution. That's something to do with our work in Europe.
Okay. So what I understand, so EuroHPC is the big thing.
Yeah.
So the direction.
Yeah.
It's countries working together
Yeah.
with the European Union. That's the direction. The link between the big picture and the industry is the
IPCI, yeah.
project. And that will take care that Europe fosters, the industry fosters. It's not about saying, oh yeah, that industry we need to support and the other ones we don't. It's about fostering the whole industry and taking care.
The ecosystem. The public and private ecosystem. The public and private, but with mainly supporting the European-based companies.
Yeah.
Just to be engaged on this train. No be there's nothing bad to be in the last wagon or the last row of the wagon, but you know very well we need to guarantee our competitiveness in Europe because United States, China, and the other colleagues from the rest of the world are moving very fast and pretty. Maybe because they have more consolidated administrative and federal infrastructures. Of course, in Spain, for instance, we have 17 regions, but in turn, Europe has at the moment 28 countries, member states. If we consider the associated states, you can imagine all the complexity and the globalization relationships. And we cannot avoid, of course, that technology, some of this technology is going to be implemented outside. But at the moment, we're trying to do the best to put in value all our knowledge, our know-how in all of this, because it's existing. As you know very well, we can check this in every very exciting meeting, almost transcended meeting of the ERG, when we are trying to do our best to put these strategical thoughts into the proper tactic and then in an operational way. So to pave the way, to define these requirements and how to facilitate to the decision maker, to the ministry at ministry level, and the private companies on how to engage in this project. By the way, it is expected. I am one of the Sherpas, Spanish Sherpas, one of the both, jointly with my colleague, our colleague, Sergio Girona as well, or Barcelona Supercomputing Center, in the establishment of the proper governance with the rest of course, countries of governance mechanisms. And I can guarantee you that the ERG, I have seen there written in many places, the ERG as the one of the main stakeholders or component in order to wisely advise the requirements. So how to mind the gap between the infrastructure network in Europe, from the perspective of the private and public, and the reality of the market, and to translate and to make an advisory all of this to the different committees. That is, this EuroHPC initiative is going to be structured.
When can we expect some visible results?
Okay. As far as I know, because now I share the opinion of some of our colleagues inside that you never know what is going to happen in 6 months or 1 year. We're living in a very chaotic, even not chaotic, it's very strange times. We don't know what is going to happen. But even if everything goes well and plans are met, the idea is to release the first pre-exascale machines no longer than 2022, 23, and later, a little bit later, 24, 25 at latest, the exascale machines themselves, they release them. And in the middle, you can imagine that there are a lot. This is sometimes when I try to make a metaphor, a comparison with when the men went to the moon. Because because it was complicated, not easy. The same. In the meantime, you can imagine all the technology transfer mechanisms in the development of the microprocessor, in the involvement of these small and medium companies. This is exciting, because again, we are going to find like a Marie Curie or Erasmus or the supercomputing, but putting in value not only the researchers, but also the industry and the private interest. Private interest in order to properly serve in the best possible way to the public administration and citizens in general terms. And this is exciting. So, two key milestones, 2022-23 for exascale, and 23-24, and the latest 25 for the exascale machines themselves.
Okay. And when will there be something like a roadmap?
Yes, of course.
Of course, yeah. And when will there be something like, say, a pre-release or of the roadmap, so that we know which way we're heading?
As I told you before, we are now very actively, we are celebrating one meeting per month, at least one meeting. And during the last meeting, when we try to do our best to define this timeline of developments, as a complement to the dates I told you, now we are moving very fast in how to establish the proper call for applications, the call from the European Commission, from the Horizon 2020. We are talking about funding, because funding is essential of this. How to analyze or assess the existing ongoing Horizon 2020 initiatives calls to this regard. And as well, we are but seriously considering how to put in synergetic combination with the structural funds coming from some of these countries. So this is very nice, because it's working quite well, they say. Some of them say very good way, with some ERIC's initiative OSS freeze. How to combine in order to avoid overlappings between structural funds, Horizon 2020, these mechanisms, and other ones, such as related to Horizon 2020, the PPPI initiatives, the CEF funds, these funds. So we are looking to do our best of how to check what is ongoing related to this technology and clusterize, federate all of this independently of the people who is going to apply or not apply, but try to guarantee these commons in this. And it is clear that the release, these times, these deadlines, these deliverables, will come as soon these funding mechanisms are established as soon as possible. Our idea initially is just to start working, but seriously, in an operational way at the end of this year, beginning of the 2018. Okay. So that I think that maybe at least in 2.5 years, some results, tangible results, can be obtained of this.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, thank you very much for this interview.
No, thank you for your kind invitation. Okay. And let me finish telling that the importance of this is Europe, Europe, Europe. If we have any doubt, Europe, the construction of the real European Union, the pan-European, EuroHPC supercomputing infrastructure in complementary way with the European Open Science Cloud, and the essential, special role, importance of the European infrastructure reflection group, our reflection group. I'm not making marketing, it's the truth, no? To this end, to support, to advise, to this end. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.